Hi, my name is Reynolds. And before I get into this today, let me ask you a very quick question. Are you fed up with your job? Because if you're anything like me, I used to hate my job. I hated being woken up by the alarm clock first thing in the morning and driving to work, getting stuck in the rush hour traffic for hours. I hated sitting in that office watching the clock ticking away. I hated the fact that on the first of the month I'd start work, I'd work through the whole month, and at the end of the month I just about had enough money, literally just to pay the bills. Then I had to go back to work on the first of the next month and start all over again. It was kind of, I was really just locked into the rat race. I just never seemed to be making enough to kind of give myself the freedom to live the lifestyle that I really wanted. And more importantly, I never made enough to give my family the lifestyle that I felt they deserved. And yet, even back then, I just had this gut feeling. I just knew absolutely that someone out there somewhere knew a better way to live and a better way to make money, which meant that I could get out of what I was doing and I could leave a job that I hated. I just fundamentally believed that somebody could show me a better way to do it. And I found it. Quite by chance, literally out of the blue, I met I can only describe him as a shy, reclusive millionaire guy who, literally working just a few hours a week from his home, was making over 30 grand a month. Now, 30 grand a month was more than I've been used to earning, in a whole year in my full-time job, so you can bet I was pretty keen to find out what he was doing. But I got him to teach me his simple system so that I could copy some of the ideas he was using and start the thing off for myself to get away from that job that I hated so much. He showed me a really simple system that I could start, literally starting on a shoestring budget, in my spare time, in my spare room at home. That system that he showed me has fundamentally changed my life. Today my life is so different. I've been able to buy several homes for myself, each of which have cost over £1 million, which I paid in cash, no mortgages, no loans, nothing like that. I've been able to buy my beach house, for example, which is a lovely house set right on a private, secluded beach where I now work from. I drive beautiful luxury cars, which I've been able to buy again for cash. And all of this because I started a simple little business, which I now run from my study at the beach house, literally on a part-time basis. A little business which, in the last 12 months, for example, has made me over £1 million. That's £1 million for running a little autopilot business in my spare time from my study at home. That's £1 million in a year from a little autopilot business that I run from my beach house or wherever I happen to be in the world, all from my little laptop computer. See, that's the beauty of this type of business. I can literally run this from my home, or I can run it, wherever I happen to be on the planet. So if I'm travelling, for example, last year I went to Australia. I've been to Nepal, I've been to New York, I've been to Las Vegas, Paris, even South Africa. Loads of places where I can run this business, literally just working from my laptop, wherever I happen to be. As long as I can get an internet connection, I can run this business almost anywhere on the planet. Now, I was asked by one of the UK's leading book publishers if I'd consider writing down my system in a simple to understand book. That's what I did. In fact, I'd love to send you a copy of my book, which is called Copy This Idea. I'd love to send you a copy today with my compliments. Now, this is not a book which is filled with kind of charts and graphs and that sort of thing. This is not kind of some theory, because I'm not one of these kind of business gurus. I'm not one of these guys that you see on any of these TV reality programs, the business programs that we all know and love. I'm not some guy who's got a column in the Financial Times. I'm just an ordinary, down-to-earth guy who started a little business in his spare room at home and went on to bank over £50 million, literally starting from the spare room on a shoestring budget. I would love to send you a copy of the book to show you exactly how I did that, step by step. In the book, you'll see that I'm nothing special. I'm not one of these people that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth with loads of money. In fact, when I was born, I was brought up living in a caravan. It's not that my parents were gypsies, it's just that they had no money when they got together, and literally I was brought up in a caravan, and my family bounced along the poverty line in all the years that I was growing up. I went to school on the local council estate. I never did particularly well at school. I left school with 4 exams, one of which was woodwork and one of which was drawing. So you don't have to be a genius to run this type of business at all. The simple system that I'll show you in the book details exactly how I went from starting on a shoestring budget, working in my spare time, to banking over £50 million just doing what I've been taught. I'll show you step by step how I did it, right from when I got started, right through to making my first million and going on to become a multi-millionaire using exactly what I show you in the book. What I'll show you in this book allowed me to walk into my boss's office at work and to hand in my notice so I could start my business. Now, you don't need to do that, by the way. You don't need to hand in your notice to start this business. Sensibly, you should start this on a part-time basis, literally evenings and weekends. Turn the TV off for a few nights a week. Evenings and weekends, you can get started on this and you can get this business up and running before you go and tell your boss what to do with the job. This simple little system allowed me to move out of my little 3-bed semi on the local housing estate into my very first £1 million house. A house that I paid for in cash. I mean, you should have seen the look on my solicitor's face when I walked into her office and I presented her with a cheque for £1 million in cash to buy the house. No mortgage, no loans or anything. £1 million in cash that I could buy that house for. This system has totally, fundamentally changed my life. In the book that I'd like to send you a free copy of today, I'll show you exactly how the system works, I'll show you how I got started on a shoestring, and I'll show you how everything works so that you can copy this idea for yourself. Now, this book went straight into the Sunday Times Business bestseller charts. Not once, not twice, but 3 times it's appeared in the Sunday Times Business bestseller list. Not content with that, it also went in straight in at number 1 in the W.H. Smith's business charts. And it also went in the same month, it went not only in the business charts, but it also went into the non-fiction charts in W.H. Smith as well. So for 1 month, we're number 1 in both of their top non-fiction charts. It even made an appearance in the Sainsbury's book chart, and I've never seen a business book in the Sainsbury's book chart, but we managed to get a position within the Sainsbury's book chart as well. So this book has been featured not only in all the W.H. Smith high street stores, but it's also been featured in the Sainsbury's charts in about 500 stores nationally. In the book, there's a chapter called The First Million, where I take you from literally starting up in my spare room on a shoestring budget through to the point where I pulled in my first £1 million using the system that I lay out in the book. There are loads of other chapters, but there's one called Stack the Deck in Your Favour. Because I do believe in business that you know, if you can find a way to stack the deck in your favour, so you've got a greater chance of success rather than failure, it just makes sense to do it that way. There's a chapter called What Sounds Best and How I Make My Money, where I show you exactly what it is that I do. I show you exactly what it is that I sell, the types of products that I sell, and I show you exactly how I make my money. I show you in detail how the system works. Probably the most important chapter in the book is one called How to Go from Making a Few £100 to Banking Your First £1 Million. In this chapter, I take you literally from the point where I've started my business using the system that I was shown. I've started up in my spare room. I've got it to the point where it's putting in a few £100, and then I just tweaked the business system that I've been shown slightly. I just gave it a little tweak, and that one little tweak, which I detail in the book, took me from making a few £100 to making my first £1 million. You're going to want to see that chapter. There's also a chapter in the book called It's Not Just About the Money, which is kind of an odd thing to have in a book on how to make money. But for me, it isn't just about the money. Once I'd used the system myself, once I'd banked the £50 million, once I put myself in a position where I was financially free, so I'd sorted out my own financial situation, I'd helped my family and a couple of friends that needed some assistance as well. Once I'd taken care of that business, once I'd bought myself the house and the car, and I'd enjoyed the holidays and all the other things that having the money brings, I then decided to do something different. Because when I was growing up as a kid in relative poverty, I promised myself that if ever I found a way out of poverty, if ever I found a way to make a huge amount of money, that I'd do 2 things. Number 1, I'd share that with other people so they could copy what I've done, and I think you'll agree that's what I've done by offering you a copy of the book. I said I decided I'd share the information with other people, but more importantly, I also decided if I made a lot of money, I'd do something sensible with it rather than just frittering it away on all the kind of toys and the glitzy stuff. I mean, just as an example, I've got one of my students. That student followed exactly the system that I taught him. He came to one of my workshops a couple of years ago. He's followed my system, and already he's banked over £10 million doing exactly what I showed him. He followed my system in detail, exactly as I showed him how to do. He started the thing off from his spare room at home, and already he's brought in over £10 million. But it's kind of gone to his head a little bit. This is a guy who likes to spend on bling. He's bought a wristwatch. He bought this wristwatch, right, which is kind of covered in all sorts of bling and diamonds and things. He paid something like £60,000 for a wristwatch. Where I am in life, I don't think it's about having a wristwatch that costs £60,000. I'd rather do something sensible with the money, put something back into society if I can. For an example, and I'm just talking to you about this so that you kind of get where I'm coming from. For example, if you went to Great Ormond Street Hospital today, you'd find there a multi-bed treatment room, a 6-bed treatment room in Great Ormond Street with the name of my business on the door. The reason that my business plaque is on the door there, it's kind of a legacy thing, because I use the techniques in this book. I use these techniques to raise every single penny to build that ward at Great Ormond Street Hospital. I use the system that I'm going to teach you in this book to raise every single penny. That for me is so much better than just buying yourself all the bling and wasting it on diamond encrusted wristwatches and things. That room there at Great Ormond Street has been there for something like 10 years now, and that's all through what I'm going to teach you in the book. I teach you the exact system I use to put in all the money to build that ward at Great Ormond Street Hospital. On the other side of the coin, a few years ago I went on a holiday to Cape Town, South Africa, and I went to the townships of Cape Town, and there I met a lovely lady who runs a soup kitchen, feeding around 400 orphan children every single day. If you'll literally just indulge me for a second, I'd just love to show you a little clip which introduces you to my friend Rosie. Let's take a look. In one quiet corner of Kailicha, I met the most amazing woman called Rosie, who runs a soup kitchen to feed the kids each and every day. Starting around 5 a.m. every day, she meets the bread lorry who delivers yesterday's bread so that she can make a small sandwich for all the kids she feeds. Then she and her sister work tirelessly every single day to make midday and evening meals for upwards of 400 people a day from their makeshift kitchen in a little shack just a few doors away from her home. But Rosie gets no state help though, she does everything herself. Up till now, a charity has been sending in raw foodstuffs for her to cook, but the funding for the charity has recently dried up, and Rosie has been struggling to get enough ingredients to keep her soup kitchen open, to keep the kids fed. There's been something bugging me that you said if you don't get the funding, then the kids are going to go hungry. And that's...
How can I tell the little child that there is no food today because there was no food today to cook? So the child won't understand you. So that is my biggest problem.
Obviously you've only just met, but perhaps I could help you with towards the cost of the food. If we were able to send you some money over, would you be able to do that?
Always need food.
Would it help if we arranged to send you £10,000 a month? Would that help you? Would that help you? Bizarre to me that just because I learnt a system for making money from my spare room, that halfway around the planet last night, over 400 kids went to bed with food in their belly, all because of the system that I'm going to teach you in the book, all because of the way that I make money from my spare room at home. That's enabled me to do things like helping Great Ormond Street and like helping those children in South Africa. Now, I can't tell you what to do with your money, obviously. I can show you how to make the money, that's the easy part. I can show you through the book, through my courses and things, exactly how to make the money. That is the simple part for me. I can't dictate what you do with money, but what I desperately hope you'll do is once you've made some money for yourself, once you've put yourself in a position of financial freedom, once you've helped your family and your friends, once you've set yourself up and had the houses and the cars and the holidays and everything, I hope, like me, that you'll do something sensible with the money. I would really love to think that you'll commit right here today that if I send you a free copy of the book and show you how this works, if I teach you how to put in this money, that you'll commit right now to putting aside 10% of the money that you make and putting it towards some worthwhile cause, just like I do. If you'll do that, if you'll commit to using some of the money sensibly like that, In addition to sending you a free copy of the book, I'll also send you some other materials to really help you get kind of fast track so you can get started. I'll send you today 3 DVDs. I'd like to send you The Millionaire Secrets, where I show you in more detail some of the work that I've been doing in South Africa. I'd love to send you the £500,000 challenge, where I was challenged to pull in £500,000 in less than 7 days using the techniques that are in the book. Now, I was followed around by a camera crew, literally following me for 7 days as I used the systems in the book, and literally had a camera working over my shoulder, looking at my laptop screen at the time as I pulled in that £500,000. You'll see the results. You'll see the orders coming in live on the screen, and you'll see that £500,000 come in less than 7 days. I'd love to send you that DVD. I'd also like to send you my DVD called How I Pulled In Over £50 Million, which was filmed live at the O2 Arena when I presented one of my entrepreneurs boot camps, which I do quite regularly for charity. I'd love you to see that DVD as well. So you've got a copy to keep. I'm going to send you the DVDs, but I'm also going to send you a link so that you can go and watch these live online as well, so you can watch them on your favourite device, like your tablet or your smartphone or whatever. I'll send you that absolutely with my compliments, as well as a copy of the book. I'd also like to send you some other materials as well. Obviously I think it's 186 pages in a 186 page book that's designed to sell in WH Smiths. I can't possibly hope to show you all the intricate detail of how the system works in the greatest minute detail. So for students of mine that are really serious and want to take this thing forward, I have a simple step-by-step monthly course that I publish that I send out to my students once a month so they can get their business started and I can help them through. Now that course is normally $29.95 a month, but I'd like to send you the first one absolutely free. I'll send you that with my compliments when I send you the book and the DVDs and the other materials today. You can cancel the thing at any time. If you don't want to subscribe to the thing, just let me know within 30 days and it won't cost you a single penny. I'll send you that